do hereby swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution and ordinances of the Village of Poland,
and the Constitution and ordinances of the Village of Poland, Ohio,
Mahoney County.
in Mahoney County.
And that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge
And I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge
the duties of patrol person
the duties of patrol
of
person,
the Village of Poland
the Village of Poland,
during my continuance as a patrol person of the Village of
during
Poland.
my continuance of the village.
Patrol person of the Village.
Patrol person of the village.
I'm sorry. All right, congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay.
All right. Mrs. Strick, ordinance amending permanent appropriations.
Okay, you have this in front of you. There are several different things that are being amended on this ordinance. The one that we were just talking about actually has to do with the audit coming in lower than anticipated, and that would be the first one that you see here, which is going to decrease the line item for auditing services by $2,000, and it's going to reappropriate that to land and buildings for the Christmas lights, which is what land and buildings has been working on. Then you have the next couple here are strictly increases of appropriations for street construction fund, state highway fund, and for computer fund. Mr. Sherman.
Yes. If you remember last year when we set the appropriation, we did not appropriate everything that we had. We left a little bit of a carryover. So this year, our batch is really hurting us badly. So we are going to use some of our carryover balance in the STM&R fund, raising that to $2,000 in other contractual, and in the state highway fund, $1,000 in the other contractual and $1,000 in the supplies and materials. Also, the court computer fund, we are going to raise two of those line items based on the supplies that Paula is using with the increased number of citations.
And that, this line item for court computer fund, because you're doing something a little differently than the way I handled that, you're paying part of Paula's wages from that fund, and so this will not create a problem for that. Is that correct? Okay.
It will not.
And then we have a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission.
Yes. And this is the annual mandatory resolution that must be done, which is going to say that we certify these amounts that the Budget Commission has set for our inside millage and outside millage. If you look at Schedule A, you will see everything broken down here. 5.2 is the total outside voted levies, and that is the 3.2 that we have on for renewal, and the 2 mil, which was passed a year ago. And then also you will see the police district amount on here, which is another mil. And in addition to that, you see the inside millage, which is the 2.12 for general fund and the 0.28 for the county health, total of 2.4. So obviously the bulk of our money comes from the voted by our residents. The money that comes in for that 6.2, we get very little on the inside millage, which is 2.4, the levy money that is not voted and that we have no choice. However, bear in mind that if we decide to move on withdrawing from the township, we could see our inside millage then increase. And that's something that I think is probably going forward we're going to investigate a little more and see what that might mean to us in dollars and cents. I can't go.
Last item, Mrs. Jass, trick or treat hours.
Yes, unfortunately, we're talking about trick or treat already. Jeff and I were at the end, and Joe at the Western Reserve Fire District on last Wednesday. The township was talking about setting trick or treat hours for Saturday due to Friday night. It's a Poland versus Canfield game at Canfield. We called Struthers. They still haven't decided. They're flip-flopping back and forth.
Local having answered.
Yeah, and he was checking with Anthony, what Mahoney County's going to set. So we need to decide. We need to stay with the township.
Yeah.
And they're really looking at Saturday, 4 to 6.
Okay.
So, but they need to know since they only have one meeting in October.
What do you mean they're looking at?
Well, there's a conflict with Friday night football. All the communities are going to have this problem. And if they change theirs to Saturday to 4 to 6, we need to too, because no one knows the districts. So just think about that next week.
That's fine. They want to do it.
Yeah.
Their meeting is the day after our next one.
Okay, so but,
Why don't we just say we'll do it?
we normally follow Mahoney County, what they set.
Anthony said that they usually get their requests from the trustees and they haven't gotten anything yet. So we're really early on this.
Yeah, I was surprised when they said something like, trick or treat already? So, yeah, I mean, 4 to 6 on a Saturday in November 1st. So, think about it, see what your residents say.
Have we ever done this, switching it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a disaster.
Yeah, it is, it's a disaster, but,
You have carloads of kids coming in from everywhere else.
yeah, that's the problem. We really need to stay in touch with Poland Township and Struthers. Yeah, no. Everyone's going to have a problem with Friday night football. It's just something to think about.
Thank you. He's going to be a little late, but he's coming soon. Anyone else have any items for caucus?
I just wanted to say that everyone got the packet. I think I put I put 200 handouts. The maps are very small, but I think you could get the gist of the territories. If you need more, let me know.
Timing, anytime we want, or?
We're primary.
Do you have a target week that you're looking at, or
First Tuesday in November? Is that what it is?
Yes.
first Tuesday, but have to have a Monday before it?
So the fourth, even the fourth, because if Halloween's on the, we're doing the first is a Saturday, so fourth.
I usually do, I always do mine like mid-October, just in case of the weather.
Okay, then that's me.
But again, if you need any more, give me, I could get more.
Did you give me a packet?
You want it?
Okay.
Yes, you can take it. No, oh, also, there's signs in the back. Try to take at least 6 each.
Okay.
If you need help or whatever, something like that.
When did you want these out by, the latest?
Middle of the month.
October.
Let us know how much we are pitching in.
Final.
You're not paying for this.
Final.
It's all late.
No, everybody should give a portion.
Trust me. It's all.
Well, we're not ordering any signs.
No,
So it's just cost of the printing and the paper.
My artwork and my copy or something like that.
You sure?
Yep.
Take that over there.
All right, anyone else have any items for caucus?
I mean, yeah, I just got back 2 letters from Mr. Barnheiser, and just wanted to let everyone know that we'll be moving forward on citing, actually citing, not just violation notices, on the weeds and tall grass. We are not yet ready to move forward on the exterior repairs or painting, but it's coming.
I was over there, Sunday. It was Sunday. I got out and walked around. It looks like his intent is to stone that entire building.
Yeah.
And also on the side by the garage, there is no fencing.
Okay.
I mean, it goes to a certain point and there's no fencing.
Okay.
Now we plan to everything.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I actually, someone had talked about the fencing where it had fallen down. And
It wasn't falling down, this just was never fenced it.
And that's a great point, because when I went out to inspect for a fallen fence, I didn't see any fallen fence. So I wasn't able to write anything. But the point that you're saying, if there's no fence, well, then maybe we've got something there.
But I don't know, I didn't start today, I wanted to get everybody out of the office, so he's about, what, 3/4 away at the front, and sometimes he's using the tire. But you can tell he's putting mesh over the whole house, except for the one side, that you can see from the road.
That's still just
That's just still,
OSB.
right.
Right. We'll be moving forward. I mean, that's all we can do. We're treating him just like everybody else, going through the processes. I've gotten these back, which means he doesn't pick them up, which is okay with me, and just keep signing.
Well, you're familiar with 115 North Main. It's the one house up in the corner of Copeland, across from...
Yeah. Used to have the bait and tackle shop in it?
Yes.
Okay. Weeds are getting high between the two houses?
In fact, that car is sitting in the backyard with weeds growing up around it, and in that boat, weeds growing up underneath it around it, and construction material.
Someone still living in this house?
Pardon me?
Is someone still living at that house?
Are we talking about the one that had the bait and tackle shop?
Right, right.
I've never seen this one.
And there's weeds, the front is weeds, side is
I
weeds.
saw the sides of them now.
It's a mess.
Yeah. What I'd like to do moving forward is start hitting people with the tall weeds in their devil strip. There's a few properties like that. So that's kind of where we're going with this. But I've been so preoccupied with these big things
Oh, sure.
that I haven't had time to get to the small things. And
But that car has been sitting in that backyard.
I mean, that's a clear-cut one. There isn't any doubt about that. I'll be going to court, I believe it's October 10th, for car on Marion, the junk car on Marion. So they're it's actually October 20th, I'll be going to court for that. So they're pretty cut and dry. Either it's there or it's not there. It's either a junk car or it's not. There isn't much wiggle room, so we can get them. That's all I have.
Anything?
In streets, just real quickly, we did talk about Melbourne, and Gary hasn't been able to get out there yet, but we're still chipping away at it.
Please talk to the Seddons before you do anything.
Two,
The Seddon family, their house is the house that's on the corner on the other side of that area. Okay, you know how Laverne cuts through.
right,
The gentleman that's been here,
right.
his house is on Johnson Place. Seddon's is the house that's in the back.
Yeah, he came over and talked to us.
Okay.
We know.
Yeah, make sure that, that there's not anything that might interfere with his issues.
What's his issue?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
He's the one who told us.
Okay.
We talked about that.
I just say, make sure, I just wanted to make sure.
Is he right behind?
Right.
Okay, we talked to him.
Okay.
He was there.
Okay.
Talked about the remedy.
Have we checked with the county engineer to be sure that even though that road is appearing on the map, that it actually is a designated street by the village? Because Audubon also appears that way, and it is not a designated street.
Well, from all indications are, perhaps it might be a alleyway. And it's,
Okay.
we're still going to do something to it.
As in,
Well, we're talking about different things right now, we're not sure.
okay, but not paving.
I don't know yet.
I don't see how we can actually pave that street and then have to answer that question for Audubon, because then we would probably be responsible for
Didn't Audubon
paving.
come right out and say this is a private street, and they declared it a private street?
But they were never designated as a,
I think it's their responsibility for the street. It is. It's a private
Yeah, it
street.
is. Audubon Lane, right? You call it
right.
It's a
Audubon
private-
Lane. They got a gate up at the end.
And there used to be a gate on this street too.
Correct. But we took it down
Right,
a long time ago.
right.
But why don't we take the gate down on Audubon?
Because
Why is that?
it's a private street.
Right, so that's not our
So,
responsibility.
that's what I'm saying, that we don't actually know for sure that this street is a designated street. It could very well
It shows
be.
up on the maps as being a street.
So does our front. That's my point.
Well, what's your point? I mean, we got to do something. I mean,
I was just questioning whether it's private.
Audubon is declared a private street by the citizens that live there.
And it
Licensed
was
child
never adopted by the village as
That's
a...
correct.
And so do we know whether the village ever adopted
I don't know
this
that.
part of Alverne?
We know, we do know there's not people pounding their hand on the fist saying this is a private street. We know that.
Yeah, but still...
But it's our
you
responsibility
need
to
know.
find out what that actually is, because if we use tax dollars to do something on a street that's a private street, we could be in trouble for doing that, and we would have to answer to any other private street in our town.
what we're looking at...
We're just, you know,
Should be
we got to do the right thing.
I mean, because that,
I don't know how we determine that, though. We didn't find anything that clearly states.
have you gone
Do we
down?
know when the street was cut through? Do we have any idea when that happened? Because we can go back in minutes, in old minutes.
Wouldn't the county have knowledge of that?
Well, that's definitely someplace I think that we should pursue some information from.
Wasn't that something that Gary can search for us?
Well, sure, I suppose, but Anthony could do that too, right? I mean, that's a legal question you're asking about.
I don't really know that that's a legal question so much as it's, yeah, more like an engineering type question.
Okay, well, we're looking at it.
Unless that's something,
Like Mike said,
unless that's something the village did to, talking with Russ, it was done to help the school buses and the street plowing. Because there's no way for you to plow over and get back out. So that's what it was put in for. Now, is that something we just did? I don't know.
Might have been for
We
safety.
need some
I mean,
history
Fire
on it.
department might have insisted
Well,
on
the
it.
fire department is the one that came in and asked us, I remember I was on the fire department at the time, they asked us to take the gate down. No one seems to know why the gate was ever put up.
I'm sure the gate was put up so because the people that lived there didn't want traffic going through there.
yeah,
Did they put it up?
I don't know, we don't know those questions. Those are all good questions, but we don't have an answer. We just talked about all this stuff.
Chuck
Yeah, so, I
said,
mean,
Chuck said
basically-
we probably know that. And Chuck's been living there for
That's the guy in the corner, yeah.
He might be the best source of information.
forever.
Yeah, and we can go back through some minutes and try to see if we can find something, and we can contact the county engineer's office and see if they can give us any information. But I think that, you know, my point is basically that before we spend any taxpayer money to do anything on what could be a private road, we have an obligation to find out if that is a private road.
It's more of an alleyway than anything else, because it's not serving anybody. It's not like Audubon is actually serving houses. This is nothing more than, if you read the ordinances, it clearly reads that it is an actual alleyway.
But we plow it, so it is serving.
Right. But we plow Audubon.
It'd just be nice to know what the official designation of that is.
On a private road?
Not that, but that's what it is. What is it? What is it designated as?
Anyway.
Anything else? Good time to talk about lights, you think? Christmas lights?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Okay, Russ.
Lights were on Wednesday, they look nice. Did you turn them on?
We didn't think they were nice, so we want to take them down.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's nice seeing Christmas lights in September.
Love it.
Okay, Poland Junior Women's Club has been looking at replacing the lights and so forth, and council's committed $2,000 to the project. After looking at it, the Women's Club has come up with an alternative plan, potentially. Instead of us purchasing the lights, all new lights on the tree and putting them up ourselves, maintaining them, Lori has found a concern that we buy the lights. This concern puts them up, takes them down, maintains them, stores them, and at a fee less than what we initially were going to spend. It was around $1,100, $1,200. But there would be a $500 fee every year thereafter for maintenance to continue with that. Blooper looked at that, we talked about that at our meeting just now, and it does seem to be a preferable way to do things. Just a couple of questions about it, though. We need to make sure that this company is bonded and insured, and a couple other things. This company also does not have a bucket truck. They do mostly houses. And they'll be able to do, they're going to do the gazebo, the front of the building, and the tree up front for that $1,100, $1,200. But they would need help on the upper area of the trees.
I'm working on some there.
Are they the same ones that was up the street at the Heim Fund? Same company?
No, they're from Hermitage. That's Edison Electric up there.
I'm pretty sure I can always get access to a bucket truck to do that. But I'm working on something so we can permanently have access to one.
The nice thing about this is we'd have to bother the street department a little bit to help with that tree, but we wouldn't be bothering them so much during leaf season as we had in the past.
That's fine.
And so that would help you out. Plus, it would save us labor. It takes a couple of days to do all that work, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's a couple of days of street department labor that we save.
And if there's something that goes wrong with the strand during the season, we just call this guy and he comes and fixes it. So that's trying to figure out what to do.
So it's their lights that they supply, basically?
Well, actually, we buy the lights, we purchase them, but they store them.
Okay.
There could be a cost later on if something needs to be replaced, if there's a whole strand that goes out that needs to be replaced, there would be that replacement cost, but it's generally just going to be a $500 annual fee for him to come up, put them up, and take them down and store them.
Now, the village would have to contract with this company because it is our property, and I think the gist that you guys kind of agreed with this plan, and there's a few details to be ironed out yet, and once that's done, we'll bring that to council in motion to go on contract.
I agree 100%. You know, we have a small street department, and let's face it, when winter comes, they have a lot of work to do, and it's difficult to keep up with all of this stuff, you know. So, I mean, this seems like a minimal cost, $500 a year, for what is probably one of the biggest events in this town. That we know families, children, everybody wants to be there, and it's one of the things our taxpayers ask for. So, you know, it's not a huge event to pay for, and if we can squeak out $500 a year from our budget for that.
And also the club said that they would be able to help with that cost, and we'd be asking for donations from the businesses involved to help out on that. So we wouldn't be stuck with all of that. It might change from year to year, but
We are waiting, also, we did get, hopefully are getting a proposal from Edison, so we may not just have this one. We gave the request for proposal out to 3 different companies, so we've only got one back so far, and they're all due on Friday, so we may be comparing costs later this week, but that's the one that looks the best right now. So.
And we're not paying anything for the Heim Fund area, right? I mean, that's all being donated there.
You know what they're coming back and putting it all up? Or we just assume that?
there's an extent to do that, yeah.
Just one other thing, it's on the streets. Russ, I don't know if anyone's going to read the paper or not, but Salt's going to go up 3 times this year. It's going to be stupid expensive. It's also going to be rationed. So it's going to be an interesting year, because we're not going to have salt for the roads,
Or anybody else.
or anybody else for that matter. I'm hearing people are using beet juice on the highways. So citizens have to understand we're going to do the best we can, but it's not going to be there.
Is there also a shortage of it?
There's also a shortage of it too. That's why we're charging 3 times.
Well, I wish we had bought a bunch last year.
Yeah.
That place is historic.
So it's going to be fun, kids.
Concentrate around the schools as much as we can.
Do we have a contract at all for some salt this year?
There's things going on that Russ can't really.
Just yet.
We still have some left, too.
We have some left.
So it's an easy winter.
Well, maybe it's the opposite.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, read the report about the winter on our street department report. Shows the average.
Kids will be going to school in July this year.
Tuesdays are long, aren't they? Aren't they even Say that I'm talking about.
We can do the sidewalk thing either under your report or streets or whatever.
I'll do it in mine. That's okay with you?
You got the email I sent you over about?
Recently?
No. No, I was waiting for this Victoria Beal to answer. But I sent you this one, didn't I?
I saw hers.
CC'd you.
Let me see. You can tell me. All right, 7:30, please stand for pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of members.
Here. Mr. Donovan. Here. Attorney Linder. Here. Mr. Major. Here. Mrs. Stern.
Here.
Mrs. Yash. He's here. All present.
Like I said, Anthony will be late, he's coming. Bless you. Acceptance of the minutes from the previous council meeting.
Make a motion, we waive the reading and accept as written.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, notification of meetings and events to the public and news media. Blooper. Finance.
Not at this time. Everybody thinking about possibility of a meeting for hospitalization? Let me know.
Legislation. Police. Police.
will meet next month.
Streets.
We met tonight, we'll meet on 16th. No, tonight's the 16th. We met tonight.
So it'll be in October.
Before our next, our second council meeting, at 6:30.
Boards, ARB.
First Thursday of every month, 7 p.m., Village Hall.
Planning.
Tomorrow at 7 p.m.
17. Zoning Board of Appeals.
Okay, we have a meeting set for Wednesday, October 1, at 7 p.m. to consider the application to put the certain homes on Riverside Drive and 170. And so it's been set for... 224s. So it's set for October 1, 7 o'clock.
Western Reserve Fire District.
Our next meeting will be October.
The 8th of October.
September 8th at 7:30 October.
Forest Board.
September 23rd at 7:30.
And Hine Memorial.
September 17th, tomorrow. We have a meeting.
What time?
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
All right, report from Mayor. August violations Bureau account has been balanced. Last time we talked a lot about the sidewalk, and I did talk to one of the people at the insurance meeting and gave me a bid for $7,500 to finish that section there, so we have something at least as far as that's concerned. You also asked me to write letters, so I wrote one to Anthony Trafficani, Pat Giannetti, Mike Stepatich, Anthony Uranka from District 4 ODOT, and Charbelli and the trustees. And Mike Stepatich called me back, and he says, nice letter, but nothing he basically do is the township is running the grant. They got the money, so it all comes from them. I saw Anthony Trafficani, and same thing from there. But they had a meeting last Wednesday at 7 at the township, and according to Eric, they are going to present it to the state again to try to get funds to finish that section.
Oh,
Because there was some money left over, and basically do it as a change order.
okay.
So where that stands, I don't know, but that's what he said. Who just said that they're out of money? Is that you, John?
Pardon?
Did you say
Yeah,
that?
I talked to Gary tonight, earlier in the day today, and he said the funds are gone. They got a grant for $100,000.
Yeah.
Remember, we were talking about maybe 210,000 or something still available.
Yeah.
Well, right now, the township's got to kick in about $1,200 over and above the 100,000. So, Angaro wants somebody from the village here at their next meeting. I think it's October the 10th. Do you know for sure?
But usually on Wednesdays, this is probably the 8th maybe. I'll talk to him and find out.
They meet the same night we meet.
Same night as
at
fire.
District.
October 8th.
Pardon?
They meet the same night as we're in the fire district meeting.
Yeah, and when I carry the fire district.
Eight.
It's
The eighth.
October 8th.
That's the 8th, okay.
Are they a 7 o'clock meeting?
Yes.
No.
They're 7. No, they're early. 5, aren't they?
It's either 5 or 6.
That's early.
Oh, that's not very nice.
No,
They don't even let the residents get there. for
Yeah,
lunch.
that's probably why they do it. That's why they do it.
Well, that's really nice.
So before, and I'll find out if that's true, but basically, I mean, the letters I wrote to the other people were basically nice letters saying that it's not safe and took us out of the project. The ones I wrote to Charbel was not, I wasn't mean, but I said, you guys don't do anything for us. We give you all this millage, and you took us out of the project without anyone telling us. There's no communication, and you need to make this right. And I'm sure.
Haven't heard from anybody.
Well, Eric's, like I said, that was the same day they got that letter, was their meeting that night. So I know they got the letter before, and I'm sure it had no impact on it, but he said they were going to submit it to the state to get the funds to complete it.
Linda, what do we pay them? I mean, 58,000?
50-some thousand.
57 something, yes.
57,000, okay, 58,000.
Almost a full mil.
Yeah.
So, okay, that pretty much sums up what's happened so far. I was told by Mike Stepatich that there were a lot of change orders, and so there was not money left over the way Gary indicated to us that night.
I used the figure, I said I heard there's about 100,000. He said, no, there's more like 20. That's what Mike told me.
Yeah,
Still.
it went way over.
Yeah.
Lots of change orders. Which is the reason that I was trying so hard to get directly to ODOT to say, is this going to pass Safe Routes to School? It doesn't look to me like it should pass Safe Routes to School. And so that was kind of the route that I was trying to take with this, to get money left over from Safe Routes to School program, if we could, at the 100% paid, because we didn't budget for this and we didn't cause it to happen. So, thank you for writing that letter, by the way, to ODOT. You haven't heard anything from ODOT?
No, that was the director. He's the main guy there.
Okay.
Ranger.
So the first one I contacted was the one that Gary said to, and that was Geraldine Patman. She sent me all the information for LPA days, for new money coming up in this coming year for projects, but basically we were looking for free money, the same way they got the free money for Safe Routes to School. Not a 20/80, not a 40/60, but 100%. She sent my explanation over to a woman by the name of Victoria Beal, and she's Assistant Administrator, Office of Local Programs for ODOT. And so I sent another email to this woman, Victoria, And I asked her, basically what I said is that the situation we have is that Poland Township, our neighboring entity, the village lies within that entity, has received a Safe Route to School grant, and they are currently completing this project stops short of reaching the road as soon as it reaches the village limits, eliminating the last two houses. The village has safety concerns as this was not a pedestrian area prior to the inception of this project, which will change that upon its completion. The sidewalk will abruptly end in the front yard of the first house. It will then defeat its purpose of connecting the school system for children to access as well. And finally, a bike traveling on the sidewalk, when hitting that grassy area, could be thrown into the traffic on the state route. So I don't think we could be any more explicit in saying that this is not a safe thing that they did. It's not our fault. We didn't put it in. So if anything happens, I think that this is pretty well documented for both ODOT. I didn't send this to the township, but I'd be happy to express it at their meeting just as well. You know, we didn't ask for this problem. They created the problem by doing this grant. They told us that we were going to be included in on it. I'm still going to try to contact this woman. I have had no response to this, but I'm going to try to call her and see if I can get through to her and just have a conversation with her and ask her, is there any money left from this program at all? It's not going to cost a lot from what they're telling us, about $8,000. We think that it solves a big problem over there, and we'll see. I guess I have to be a little bit of a pest. So, I will.
You got a price?
$7,500.
Is that what just
Center Farm Concrete out in Middletown.
Is that both of them?
Yeah, to put the driveway piece into one that doesn't have anything at all, and then do the sidewalk all over to Nesbit. Yeah, make it look the same as it does everywhere else. And that's not prevailing wages, not union wages. That union would be more, of course. But we don't need to do that. Probably since the grant's done.
Cost one is $12,000.
So,
Okay, I figured it out. It's only about 6 cubic yards for it. About 60 feet wide, 4 feet. I mean, the lots.
yeah,
I don't know, I think they're 4 feet.
it's not very well.
4 inches thick.
Yep.
That's $600. The concrete's going about $100 a yard. Okay?
So
Probably will.
hopefully it doesn't cost us a cent, but
Yeah, can we get this done in time for the cement to set up, or we have to wait till spring?
probably have another month or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be all right.
Good for it. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is they put the first one.
Well, that sidewalk by the post office, they did that late October, probably November, and so we could do it.
Not giving up yet.
Yeah, well, we'll get it. So that's all I have.
Motion to accept the mayor's report.
All in favor? Any opposed? Anthony, you missed my report. I can start over.
What did I do?
I can start back.
I saw you peeking on the window.
Yeah, he did. Some nose prints on the window. Report from fiscal officer, Mr. Sterner.
Okay, I'm circulating around the list of bills to be paid. The account has been reconciled for August, and I am circulating that around for your review and your signatures. You've got in front of you August, numbers in the street and state highway fund. There are some rather low line items there. Those will be fixed by the annual appropriation of ordinance amendment, which you will be adopting this evening. The certificate of estimated resources was filed with the county auditor's office, which was due by September the 15th. We went over the resolution, and also regarding the salt for next year. Last year we spent $4,500 for salt. If it's triple that, we're looking at $13,500. And also hot patch last year, about $3,000. This year so far, $5,000. So we've got a lot of expenses with roads. And a report.
Do we need this resolution passed tonight?
Yes.
Emergency?
Yes.
Okay, so both of those need to be done emergency.
on the heels of Nick's report, we start entertaining a street levy. No salt, no patching.
Motion to accept next report.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? And from the deputy clerk, nothing. Report from the zoning administrator.
No report at this time. Everything was given in caucus.
Report from solicitor.
Two things. One, I have to ask for an executive session to discuss personnel and pending litigation. Like Scott about. The other is simple enough. Sent a letter to the Lawn Ranger this week in that they had sent us a bill for the $330 to the Village Green, I think it was.
Yes.
And I thought we called them and said that we could not pay because we're a governmental entity. They sent another bill. So I sent them a letter advising them that we are under a yearly budget and that it was budgeted for the previous year but not for 2014. Therefore, we could not pay the amount that was owed. So that went out on the 10th. I have not heard anything from them. I don't think we've got another bill since then. If we do, then I'll call them personally. Hopefully that'll take care of it. Other than that, any issue I need to talk to council about in executive, that's all I have.
Did you get an opportunity to send that letter to Celebrate Poland?
No, you know what? I have not given him the information all written out yet, like you asked for at the last meeting.
Yes.
I'm still working on
That's
it.
okay. I could remember for a second now. I did.
Yeah, I was out of town for a little bit, so.
I'll get that out as soon as we get it out.
Question. Legally, how can we go and find out about Elmer and if it's a street or not?
I know that at the last meeting we talked about, we checked on the map, and that we thought it was a street. It was a dedicated.
Well, Linda brought up a good point. Audubon is on the map and as a private street, so.
Oh, and it's on the map as a dedicated street as well, huh?
Yeah.
I imagine maybe calling the county engineer. Would that be the first place to look?
And see if they have any,
I can call engineer Jeanette.
Well, we have, if you want to, that'd be great. I also have Joe having Garrett look into it. Before we expend any money, we need to know dollars.
I'll probably see him tomorrow night, but if I don't, I will call him and get an answer.
Thank you. Motion to accept the...
Just one question.
Solicitor.
I don't know what you call me. But what were we wondering about as far as whether it's dedicated? What are we looking to do? Approve the one part of it, correct?
Yeah, the whole cut through there.
And we're trying to figure out what, as far as,
If it's our property.
or if it's county.
or if it's private, if it's a private road,
Private.
Audubon
It wouldn't
is.
be counted, we're just trying to find out if it's private or not.
All right. Well, if it's private, and if we get the permission of the folks that own the property, do we know who they are? Would that be a solution or not?
I'm worried about spending tax dollars on private property.
But if you do that on Audubon, so it's...
You're saying to improve the road?
Yes.
You don't want to spend the public on private.
Yeah, I think it's a hard sell. I mean, if you're not paving public roads, how do you explain to the taxpayers that you're using their money to do things on private roads?
Well, Audubon Lane is safety to get in there for fire, that's why they plow it.
Right, but we don't have that issue on this street.
Well,
We have.
Do we pay Audubon? Or do the neighbors pay it? They pay, the neighbors pay it.
we plow it though.
We
That's for
plow it.
safety.
We plow it, but that's for
for
safety.
safety.
But we also plow Alverne too, don't we?
Yeah,
So they get the same service, they get that.
You
I've
know,
always known this to be an alley. When we looked up the definition, I've always known it to be called an alley, which we do, it's just a definition in our utility ordinance.
I'm going to call Pat and see what he says about it.
I don't think it's dedicated.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I knew the issue before I do
Russ,
call.
do you know when they took down the barrier? Or how long that was up?
Years ago. It was up for years, we took it down because it fell apart.
You know who put it
Years
up?
ago. No. Years ago.
So it was up, and the only reason it was taken down is because it was falling apart.
Yeah.
Well, before that, how did the plows handle the street?
We would open the gate. So we took down the gate.
How about the trash people
They would back all the way down the street.
and the buses?
The buses would only pick up out at the end.
Okay.
And there's only 2 houses there, correct?
Basically.
What does that
On
mean?
each end, on each end.
The-
But the whole,
On this, there's no houses.
well, yeah, there's no houses where the frontage is on that's correct.
Because the two that are in question are actually facing
Sides.
Johnson Place,
And Alvaro.
and the other 2 down the other end are facing Elmhorn.
Right. There's only one on Elburn, there's 2 on Johnson Place, and the one on Elburn and one of the 2 on Johnson Place, that's their driveway access to.
Yeah.
Odd when you set that up.
We'll figure it out. Thank you.
All right, end of report.
Motion to accept the solicitor's report.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 2 people on the second one. Chief of Police and Street Commissioner.
Both departments submitted, right?
One of the things that came out of the streets today is, you're going to see if you don't mind me telling us, we're going to use the old truck as much as we can for leaf pickup this year until she finally keels over. It's a good decision to make. Motion to accept the reports.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Report from engineer.
Nothing, we talked about it, but nothing else.
All right, reports from outstanding committees of council, finance, wage, audit, and insurance.
I think we covered everything that I had earlier.
Legislation and policy, police and fire,
Nothing.
streets, sidewalks, and drainage,
Nothing.
and blooper.
We covered everything earlier.
Okay. Reports from boards, planning commission,
No report.
board of zoning appeals.
Nothing except that this meeting, I think will be a meeting that the council, if available, should go to. This will probably be the final meeting before we make a decision.
What is it?
October 1st.
Wednesday, October 1, 7 o'clock.
So what is being addressed?
Mastriani's trying to put in 4 houses on Riverside and opposite Poland Union.
So it's been changed from the duplexes, is that it?
No,
duplexes, right?
it's 2,
Oh, it is, so
it's
he's,
still duplexes.
so it's duplexes, not condos that
That's
was
right.
presented.
2 duplexes.
That's right, 2 duplexes.
When's the meeting?
They were shaking their
October
head.
1st.
Wednesday, October 1st,
7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
And this is ARB?
Zoning
No,
board of
this is
appeals.
before the zoning.
Can you make it anything?
Actually,
Can you make it?
Lynn, is there an issue with multiple council members in the audience?
Not discussing business.
yeah, as long as you're not there in regards to their, as far as the meeting, they're allowed to be in the audience to observe.
Observe and
It'd
not
be like
take part.
if y'all went to Poland basketball games, then it would be a violation.
Okay.
I did look at the review of the minutes. John Earing provided them to me, so I reviewed everything that happened that night. And I'll be ready to go on the first time.
May I add something? I have not been asked for a variance, zoning variance, so I just want everyone to know that. So we will not, at this point, we will not be talking about a zoning variance for the lot square footage.
So what's the meeting going to cover? What's he asking for from the Board of Zoning Appeals?
He's asking for conditional use to put duplexes
2 duplexes.
onto the divided lot, the replatted lot. How about that? Into 2.
It's pretty clear cut, it's no.
But he has his option to ask for variance.
He paid for it. He has not paid for variance.
Conditional.
He has
He's only paid for
the
conditional use.
conditional use.
Yeah, when I read the conditional use section, I don't know how to kind of put a round thing in a square. I don't know what the analogy is, but it doesn't seem to fit with the intent. It seemed like the variance was the more appropriate. But again,
Exactly. I don't know what he's doing here.
I'm still looking at it, but I think I understand now what they're trying, what the issue is anyway, so. But I'll come back.
How did we advertise this to the public? What do they think the meeting is going to be?
The newest meeting was recently set, so it has not been advertised. I'm required to do it 5 days before.
Okay.
So,
So as it stands right now, it will be permit for conditional use for 2 duplexes,
that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly as it was done before.
unless some change happens between now
And I'm about to shut it down, it's about time to start sending. I only have, X amount of days left.
Okay, so you need to notify all the neighbors.
The same residents that I contacted last time will be contacted again by mail. Paul, if she hasn't done it already, she will be advertising again in the Vindicator.
Good.
Her requirement is, I believe it's 2 weeks out. Mine is only 5 days out. So
And we had over 100 people last meeting.
I would agree with that. But once hers goes out, I can't change it and add on there, oh yeah, and there's going to be a zoning variance too. I can't do that. So once hers is out, that's what's going. So.
Report from Architecture Review Board.
That was the zoning board of appeals.
Motion to approve the zoning board of appeal report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Architecture Review Board?
Yeah, I do have something. I was contacted by John Scofford Jr. about the possibility of changing the signs for the plaza. He's getting some of his tenants asking him to change the signs from what they currently are to labeling their individual businesses. He also provided information to me where he has been to the board previously about the same thing but never moved forward. So I'm in a bit of a situation trying to figure out whether that previous work is still valid at this time. So we're working on that.
As I recall, the previous one was to electrify the sign,
Okay.
and we gave permission to do that.
Okay.
Oh, they were electrified in the first place. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, the spotlight's on.
No, there's lights on there. There were.
We'll get it figured out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not an issue, but it's something that's...
No, I remember sitting on the board when he came looking for the big, not a marquee, but then it would list every
Right.
person that's in that plaza.
And as we discussed it, that's one of the things that he has come forward. He had already paid for it. I don't know that we're going to charge him again for the same thing. So I
Does he
have
have
to
a
work through it.
variance for that?
I was actually just looking through, and there really isn't much in there about it. So we're gonna have to work it out.
A variance for what?
To do the signage that he wants to do.
We're gonna have to work it out. That's,
Where his entrances are by the colonial estates.
Yeah,
He had always wanted them to list all the business owners.
sure.
But he's never gone forward, but that's...
Right.
And we always threw that around, do you need a variance for that? Does it need to come to the Board of Appeals?
it's not necessarily clear cut.
No, what?
But he came to the Board of Zoning and for a variance.
Okay. And then we'll get it figured out. And what his contention was is that there are other buildings that have multiple tenants that have listing of their tenants, such as the Nemitz building, Dave Roberts' old buildings. They have these boards that have the listing of tenants.
Right.
So we'll get it figured out.
Yeah. The only thing that John's has more tenants in this plaza.
That's true.
And we were for it. We helped him with the
We
plaza.
were, and I was surprised he didn't go forward.
And he did tell me that. He gave me that information that you just said. And what he said was that he posed it to his tenants at that time that if they wanted to contribute for the new sign, that he'd be willing to do it. And so he went to bat for them. And then when it came time to pony up the money, no one came forward. So he says he has a new crop of tenants, and they are very energized, and he thinks that it will go forward. So if it's already been discussed, we'll go through it.
Yeah, check, but I know we were all in favor of, however we can help them.
Okay, fair enough.
Motion to accept the ARB report.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Forest Board? Pine Memorial?
We meet tomorrow, like I mentioned.
And Western Reserve Fire District?
Nothing until next month's meeting. We did meet last Wednesday. Don't have the minutes for it. Anything you can think of that was, no, I'll do it.
Did you request a helicopter or anything?
Yeah, no, but we did talk to, passed on from Lori LaPlante, some concerns about the Christmas celebration here at Town Hall, about the fire drums and, get them covered, how to put them out, and they were going to contact her in that committee to work on that.
Motion to accept the fire department report.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Reports from special committees? Communications from residents? Any new business? Any old business? All right, motions, ordinances, and resolutions.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to waive the 3 readings to pass by an emergency, an ordinance to amend appropriations.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Cassett?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Attorney Limmer?
Yes.
Mr. Major?
Yes.
Mrs. Cerny?
Yes?
Mrs. Yash?
Yes.
0.
A motion to pass an ordinance amending ordinance number 1451-14, permanent appropriations, and to declare an emergency.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Cassett?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Attorney Limmer?
Yes.
Mr. Major?
Yes.
Mrs. Cerny?
Yes?
Mrs. Yash?
Yes.
0.
A motion to waive the 3 readings to pass an emergency resolution accepting amounts and rates by the Budget Commission.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Cassett?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Donovan.
Donovan, yes.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Attorney Limmer?
Yes.
Mr. Major?
Yes.
Mrs. Cerny?
Yes?
Mrs. Yash?
Yes.
6-0.
Motion to pass a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor,
And
and to declare an emergency.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Cassett?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Attorney Limmer?
Yes.
Mr. Major?
Yes.
Mrs. Cerny?
Yes.
Mrs. Yash?
Yes.
6-0.
Any other motions, ordinances, or resolutions? Second and third readings. Presentation of the bills.
Make a motion that the bills be paid.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Questions from the news media? Remarks by council, Mrs. Cerny.
I'd just like to thank everybody and whoever, I'm really not even sure who all was involved with the new historic marker. Did anybody attend that?
Jill,
I do.
it was nice.
Was it the Historic Preservation Society that actually was involved with that?
Yeah, they had the most to do with it. And they did events too for 3 guys. Yeah, but it was the same ceremony for both.
So thanks to everybody involved with that.
It was very nice.
Mr. Lemon?
Nothing.
Mrs. Yash?
Nothing.
Mr. Cassett?
Linda, thanks for that was a nice letter you wrote about the streets. Good luck with that, or the sidewalk. Okay. Thank you.
Do what I can. Do like that. Mr. Donovan? Mr. Major?
Nothing.
Motion to suspend the orders of the day, go in executive session for litigation of personnel.
Second. Roll call?
Mr. Cassett?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Attorney Limmer?
Yes.
Mr. Major?
Yes.
Mrs. Cerny?
Yes?
Mrs. Yash?
Yes.
0.
1. All right, you guys are free to go.